Dukes of Weebdom.
Dukes of Weebdom.
Episode 55. So, it's kind of sad that there's no Kusakabe gas this week.
Yeah. No JJK. No weird replacement this week. We're meeting the break head on this week.
Yeah. I have noticed, it's really been going on for a while. It was just like, everything takes breaks a lot more than...
I'm so glad, though.
Yeah, like what they used to do years ago.
I think some of it's just pressure from knowing that everyone knows that they treat their artists like shit.
Because I don't know what it's about or if it's true. Because I'm in a Discord of a content creator for One Piece.
Nice.
And someone in there sent out like a tag to everyone saying that One Piece is on a 3-week break, but the last chapter didn't mention that in it at the end of the chapter, which they normally do. And also the Shonen app says that there's a chapter in 6 days. So I'm like, where do you get this information from?
I know sometimes if they have to do like a impromptu break, it'll just let the timer tick down and then it'll switch to when it actually comes out.
I'll be honest, I didn't look it up either, so
This will say 6 days.
Let's say 4 hours ago, One Piece will be going on break after issue number 18 of Weekly Shonen Jump and will return in
that's
issue
why
21.
Because after that issue, so the next chapter will happen and then the break will happen.
Yo, is issue 18 not out yet?
I don't know. I'm guessing. Usually they say stuff like that for upcoming issues. Still speculating, though.
Yeah, I don't know. But hey, Oda needs his break, his rest, so. Yes, this little article I'm like skimming through doesn't really give any details. So I think I've done this before on here when I was like reading through an article and I'm like, you scroll through paragraph after paragraph and it's like, even if you read everything, it says nothing.
Oh, yeah.
It accomplishes nothing.
You could skip 4 paragraphs and still not be at the subject yet.
Yeah. It's like, what are we doing here?
A big One Piece is going on break. You open it up. One Piece is a pirate manga following the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy. You go down like 3 more paragraphs. It's like, and then at one point, Ace dies.
Yeah, it's like, okay, bud, shut the fuck up.
Speaking of Ace dying, the manga will be dead for 3 weeks. This news site has been this, and that, and we focus on this.
No shit.
No, it's really infuriating.
Yes. You know it's not infuriating? Not even in the slightest. Spy Family.
So, going to that one first?
Yeah, it was
I was geeking.
It was so good.
There's a point laughing when it did the wire reveal. I was rolling around on the couch laughing my ass off.
It was so funny. This page right here when she started going in her own.
Yes!
And then Lloyd struggling to keep it together.
Revealing the wire. I took a picture of both of those too.
Yes, this one too. It's like, we will win this, whatever it takes.
And it shows the wires he's holding Anya up with. And then she starts dancing, clapping around, his hands all gripping.
Her face. He's so determined. Even Anya probably doesn't believe she's standing up on her own strength. It was great.
Fucking hilarious. I also just love the all chapter long juxtaposition of her, like, with the obstacle course just being like a brute.
Yeah.
Throwing her shoes off. I don't want to get unkempt.
And she's just like, gorilla my way through this.
Earthworm.
Yeah. And then she, like, Lloyd's breakdown of his lack of intelligence gathering skills in this was awesome.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing. Also fucking hilarious. The one where he's like, I should have recruited a child intelligence network.
Yeah. Does he have a strict daily routine? Or is this a quiz about a test of knowledge? But what about surmising Damien's feelings? Either way, only his dorm mates would know He was served, giving them advantage here. Curse my negligence in not taking measurements to review the menus on the daily basis. A sloppy mistake, Twilight.
Arg, once again my research has fallen short. I should have been recruiting children into my intelligence gathering network to gather intel about their peers.
It was great. And then I love how she doesn't even use her powers at the end there.
No,
She's just like,
I was just thinking she absolutely didn't.
She's like, he just likes his dad. It's so obvious, too, if anyone that really knows him.
It's Spy Family always has those money shots. I was already like in awe of this one, and then there's the later one. But of course she would do that answer, too. She actually knows him. She knows that. Out of everyone, who does he love? His papa.
Even if his papa doesn't love him.
Yes. And then they get to dancing.
And neither of them know what's going on. Lloyd freaks out again.
Of course. Oh, such a cute end.
Your family sounds nice.
Yeah.
And then the money shot.
The money shot. Anya confessing that she has mind reading powers.
And then Damien just not believing her.
Oh, of course. I knew it was going to come right after. I'm like, there's no way.
Because who would? I saw that on Facebook, this double page spread.
I actually didn't have any of this spoiled for me. I was so delighted.
I was like, there's no way this is real. But then at the same time, she's wearing the dress and she's dancing with him. God damn you.
He'll reach the point where he'll think back to this moment and realize she was telling the truth. Because even the way he questioned her, how did you know about my dog almost killing me in the pond?
Right. But hey, you know?
Yeah. But that shot, man. That double page spread.
Plan B coming in hot.
Dying. I was just like, I was like audibly. I was like, Parker's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't tell you.
It's a spoiler.
Never been more audible during a Spy X Family chapter.
Right. But, it was just fabulous.
Yes. I also just love the shot with him, like, kind of knocking down his own walls and being like, your family sounds nice. That little shot there is really nice.
A genuine smile and everything. I was like...
And people wonder why Damien's a favorite of mine. My partner wonders. My partner is people. Damien and Becky.
Becky's the Speedwagon.
I love Becky. Well, I love Speedwagon. So it makes so much sense.
Yeah. I was going to say, she's Rebecca's Anya's her Speedwagon to Anya's
Jonathan.
So good.
S tier.
Plan B coming in hot. Let's go. I think it's going to be a mixture of everything, to be honest with you. If they even get there. I mean, they can go far with Spy Family. Spy Family is not something that's like this plot could be stretched out for
she has
quite some time.
2 Stella stars, maybe 3.
Yeah, but then again too, it's like they're still in the first year, right?
Yeah, of their schooling.
Like, they could go...
And I hope they do.
Like, many a year. So, who knows what's going to happen. But well, actually, there's got to be a time limit somewhere, because it's like they're trying to prevent a war from happening.
Yeah,
so,
but we don't have any kind of, like...
info
idea
on that.
How escalated it is. Though I do think they wanted to get it done within like her first year of schooling, maybe.
I feel like there was a time frame set up like early on in like the first like
I think
20-ish chapters of like setup of the story.
Yeah, I think she needs to do it within her first year, if I had to guess.
She might get one for this.
You danced most elegantly.
Most elegant. I know I sounded like Snape there for a second, but...
A happy Snape.
Yeah, apparently.
What are we doing next?
I don't know.
And you get a rotating dartboard wheel sometime that we could put manga names on and just go thunk.
Thunk. And then we're just like so bad that we're good and just keep getting the darts in the same place.
Yeah, or in like the gaps between, because we need to actually have like empty spaces to add more mangas too.
I read more solo leveling.
Ooh.
I'm now further than where I was the last time I read.
Hey, that's good though.
So I'm in new territory. Not by much. I think I'm only like 3 or 4 chapters ahead of where I stopped reading.
Still though, progress.
Yas.
No, that could have been Astro Baby chapters.
I read an Astro Baby today.
And I'm happy. I'm happy you read one.
The end of chapter 3 was hilarious when the baby takes over his body.
Are you at chapter 3?
Yeah, and then his face turns into the baby's face.
That's again when I was just like, no, he has to fucking read this. This is so good.
It was also because, like...
So that means he also did, like, the umbilical cord slamming and stuff.
So, at the beginning of the chapter, you got all the soldiers that are trying to murderize everybody that's here. Which, anytime that happens, I always get, like, mad. It's like, it's so unfair, blah, blah, blah. But, you know what? The soldier did a good job of explaining it. Being like, you know...
We can't have sympathy.
Kind of makes sense.
You have a pathogen that makes you eat people. Possibly. Yeah. We just burn it all.
And there's no way to tell whether you have it or not. Because if you are infected, you can actively try to deceive us. Which has happened before with the child.
So it makes total sense.
Especially, too, now that you think that it's like, they're totally right. Because... I don't know what the baby's name. The baby doesn't have a name yet, and where I am, I'm pretty sure it has one.
It has one where I am.
Yeah, and his name's Billy, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So like the baby is 100% what they are trying to kill. So they're in the right here to suspect this group of people.
Yes.
What?
Fucking, I was going through chapter 2 to see what was in between the first and third.
Yeah.
Be like, is there anything here to talk about? And I love this little part where it's him acting like a baby when he picked it up. He's like, oh, it's so hot.
Oh,
and
yes.
then
Super serious man face when he gets down low.
It is just some of the funniest shit. But then you get the soldiers. Like, what a cold shot of them walking in on the soldiers.
Yeah.
It has, like, a mix of, like, noir and comedy that I just love. It also just feels very grounded, which I also really appreciate. Like, it feels like a more, like, something I could watch on TV.
It's definitely got my interest in Deep. I mean, you'll have to do some convincing, but, like, Dare No May or whatever, was it?
Dear an Enemy.
An Enemy.
I've still only read the first chapter, not for lack of trying. Like, not for lack of interest. I'm still quite interested.
I've only read, like, the first 20-ish pages of chapter 1.
Did they get to the island yet?
They're, like, staring at it from the boat.
Definitely finish that chapter. Because I will say them getting to the island is where I'm like, oh, this is lit.
Well, I've seen some things that are on the island that I'm like, oh, that's cool.
It's like, oh man. Because it might be things you even see, because it's all like animal hybrids. They land there and they just start immediately getting fucking picked off. Just, this isn't like we got a day or two to like talk. No, immediately. There's like a rooster over there mimicking human speech, leading people over to eat them. There's a big ass fucking chameleon one over here eating people. Like, it goes to shit so fast.
Glorious.
Very glorious. I'm like halfway through chapter 2, when I checked. But I'm not about to sell it until I'm caught up on it.
Right. But I don't know. I'll check it out. I mean, it's every time I open the app, it's right there because it's like a half read chapter. So it's like at the front of my continue reading. You know what I mean? The only one that's in front of it is Astro Baby still.
I just ruined my order because I've been poking around. So it's at the front of mine with Astro Baby now. Definitely sold. Not as sold as Astro Baby, though. Astro Baby was like the easiest sell of a lifetime. That was fucking hilarious.
I just skimmed through the Chainsaw Man chapter, which...
Oh, yeah, we definitely have one to talk about.
Short as fuck.
Yes.
Because I didn't remember.
Because he's back on that weekly grind.
Right. Because we got another one tomorrow.
Dude starts out right out the gate fast with Famine summoning Guillotine Devil.
Not what you would expect to see. Because I thought about that too, because when I saw it, I was looking at it, I was like, I feel like that would be... Because I did kind of see the... Because you can see the blade. It looks like a guillotine kind of.
Yeah.
The crow aesthetic is kind of throwing me off.
The skeleton under it, because it's like the crow on top and the wings is like a cloak, but then the inside under the blade is like a skeleton that doesn't meet the floor.
Yeah.
Which is also adds to the weirdness to me. It's almost like it's being suspended by the wings.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I mean... It's
effectively creepy, because at first, like, on the page turn, I wasn't creeped out, but when I imagine myself in those soldiers' shoes, I'm very creeped out.
Well, leave it to Fujimoto to... He's, like, fucking brilliant at creating demons.
And powers on the fly, too.
Yeah. I love how it cut everything except flesh. You're like, all of your clothes are cut. All of your guns are cut. And that's it.
Once again, Twitter Chainsaw Man fan base is super based. There's a couple like theories on that. One, because the guillotine was made to be like a more humane way to just execute someone right away. So it's almost like mercy. And secondly, that guillotines probably aren't that feared in modern society.
True.
There's scary imagery, but no one realistically has to think about being put under the guillotine anymore. So they're thinking it's one of those two. Either like by design he was like that, or he's just not strong enough. Or then maybe even weaker from famine, whatever famine's like.
True,
conditions
but
are.
If that's the case, then if he's not as that powerful, right? Famine better have more in her bag than, because she's saying she's the trump card. I think that Asa taking control of the guns outside is more of a threat than a dude cutting clothes and guns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's also this weird, like, line here where she's like, the devils I summon with my powers are weak and they can't use their full strength. Which, you look at guillotine and that, like,
fallen devil?
Yeah. Because that was a worldwide problem.
Well, again, because they, like, when I looked, I mean, I could be getting this wrong, but hold on. Let me just do a 2-second Google search. Yeah, of course, I'm getting this fucking Chainsaw Man. No, I don't want Chainsaw Man, I want... Yeah, okay, so, I was right. I wanted to double check first, but, because I had looked this up before when we were talking about the fears in Chainsaw Man, like...
Yeah.
And, like... The primordial fears, also known as primal fears, are those that are deeply rooted in the human psyche, born out of our ancestral need for survival. These fears include the fear of darkness, fear of heights, predators, death, and isolation. And, like, fear of heights, the only reason to be afraid of heights is of falling off said height.
Literally.
So it's like falling is like...
Is the fear of heights.
Yeah, it's... a
that
primordial feel, so it's like...
Makes me think darkness would also just the world immediately upon arriving.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because if falling's at the same level as darkness, and falling at a presumably nerfed state affected the whole world, would darkness showing up just shroud the whole earth in darkness then? Fuck. And it tracks, because the gun devil's not a primal fear, and that thing could hit from across continents too. Like, the scale kind of lines up here.
Yeah, so it's like...
A prime war probably goes really fucking hard.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking like, just like...
Literally at her peak, like probably at when World War II was happening in the Chainsaw Man world before he erased it, I can only imagine.
Or even just anywhere, because I mean,
war is constant.
Yeah, I mean, any war is just like... See, I was about to say something stupid, but I feel like... Well, you could look at it both ways, though, because it's like, what war would you think would be more terrifying?
Probably World War II.
No, like I don't want to say modern war because like modern war is like so much different than World War II, Vietnam, and those kind of war. Like those were.
That's what I kind of went with World War II is because you can mix the actual ground warfare with the fear of the nuclear bomb all together in a neat package.
Because like modern war is more of just a bunch of skirmishes that happen all over the place, and there's still the bomb issue of like you're sleeping in your house and you're just hearing bombs going off.
Yeah.
But the bombs that are going off today in today's wars aren't like the bombing of like the UK air raids. You know what I mean? And fucking all the shit that was going down in World War II, and then with the reverse, the bombing of Berlin and fucking, you know what I mean? Just like 300 planes just flying overhead at night and just carpet bombing the city. That's, you know what I mean?
Now it's a drone targeting your car on the way.
Yeah, a specific car. Car. Which obviously issues can go awry and stuff. But what I was really getting to is not today's wars, but like modern wars, like World War I and II, or ancient wars of like.
And they're both pretty fucking grisly.
Exactly, because it's like, but then they also mean different things. Because it's like, okay, so you have, say, it's like, I don't know, whatever. Take a fucking two people fighting each other back in the day, like the Roman legions versus some other thing or whatever. You know, they meet on a field somewhere, do battle. But it's like, I feel like that was more like not romanticized at the time, but it was like, you know, you had all these Greek heroes and Roman heroes.
I was just like Alexander the Great, because he's the one where I like learned the most about like his campaign.
Because it's like they made like fighting in a war back then was like, I don't want to say it meant something. It's like I'm struggling here to speak my words correctly, but like it was dramatized to where it's like the movie Troy. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I think part of that is like...
And he's like...
I haven't seen it. Also.
He says a quote in it. He's like, immortality awaits you beyond. Because it's like you make a name for yourself and then you remember it through all of time. But then it's like, okay, so the battle of hundreds of thousands of dudes happened like way over there. But us, we're just sitting in the city. But then today, it's like, yeah, we're sitting in the city, but these bombs fall out of the sky and reduce our towns to nothing.
I was just going to say back then it might be more romanticized because the worldview is also smaller. Like it's
true.
You're not as aware of other people even existing.
Mm-hmm.
And these are, I would assume, smaller countries comparatively to the modern day. I don't know where I was going with that in my head. It's more the smaller worldview. Because then I think for, like, especially in the context of Chainsaw Man, in the modern day, you hear about a war on the other side of the globe going on.
Absolutely. But then, because it's like, too, it's like, as the common folk, the citizenry, what is their viewpoint? Is it different from back in the day with swords and shields?
I think it's pretty the same. I think it's we get fucked if they get here.
Yeah.
Especially, you know what? I dare to say it's worse now because you could just bomb those people
without their citizens, the military protecting them.
Yeah,
it's like our military is not even defeated yet, and we're dying.
Yes, you're just gonna die if the army rolls through in like old day warfare, but like they have to roll through at least.
It'd probably be worse because the citizenry back then was just women and children. So,
I mean, and some dudes to protect the villages. Like some stay. Not that they're the ones that are gonna fight off an army.
Exactly right.
They're all awful. War's awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. So yes, Prime
But
War.
I do think for Chainsaw Man's context, it's even worse now because the public fear is going to be worse the more they hear about wars they're not even involved in.
I wonder if because like it's been so long since I've even done anything, but yeah. So I just tried looking up in like the biblical sense of the four horsemen if it stated like a rank system, but all you can see is that it's like the Pale Rider Death is the leader of 4 Horsemen and is the strongest and most feared of the angelic demonic siblings or whatever. But it's like, okay, yeah, we already knew that. But like, is war...
Because Fujimoto would follow that too. He loves his Bible.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, what would be scarier though? Like,
they're all pretty equal.
They're all
bad.
Yeah, they're all equally bad, but
Death
sometimes
is
it's like, yeah, but it's like depends on the person you ask too, though, because there's some people that'd rather die than be controlled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or people that'd rather go to war than to starve to death. Or people who'd rather starve to death than go to war. You know what I mean? So I guess it's really person to person.
Yeah.
But either way, a prime war, throwing nukes left and right.
They also just, when you mentioned bombs during the war thing too, I'm like, oh no, do I want Rize back, or is Yoru gonna?
Especially because like you said too, everyone forgot about World War II.
Yeah.
Look how fucking ridiculous the Gun Devil was at his peak. And that's just the Gun Devil. Like, the gun is just a tool used in war. So obviously the war would be...
And they treat it like that too. War treats the weapons like tools.
Yo, if the War Devil was active, do you think she would just like walk up to the Gun Devil and be like, yo, you're mine?
You're mine.
You know what I mean?
That's why I'm thinking Rize too. If she comes back, bombs are a tool of war.
Yeah. So it's like Asa could like just start even just weapon hybrids in general.
Yeah.
Just any weapon. Every weapon is
besides
been used
the
in war.
chainsaw, because it's a tool of cutting wood.
And erasing demons from existence,
Yes.
apparently. Or devils, rather.
Also, I love famine.
There's got to be somebody out there that brought a chainsaw into war.
No, I don't think so.
There's got to be, dude. Probably not. You're right.
Probably not. Because do we have chainsaws in the Civil War? I think that's going to really determine.
No. I don't think we did. That's the problem. There's been no wars fought in America because it would be an American bringing that chainsaw.
Yeah, that's why I can't even imagine another culture trying to run in with a chainsaw. And again, I love famine.
Yes.
The guys screaming out because I run into all the church followers being like, famine, leave us alone, go away. Okay. Our families, our lives, our country, you ruined everything. Leave us alone. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Famine needs to get her fucking scoliosis checked or something with that. Her rest in headspace.
I still wonder if that's part of the conditions because she's wearing scales on her earrings, which is a symbol of the horseman famine. So I'm wondering if it's like a weight system. One's heavier than the other, maybe signifying something.
Interesting.
Right?
We'll have to see if her
she tilts back the other way.
Tilts the other way. I ain't trying to read back, though, all of the chapters to see if she was ever tilted in the opposite direction.
I feel like every manga I read, I'm like, man, I would love to start this over again for no reason. I do that. I did that with Spike's Family today. I was like, man, I would like to start Spike's Family over again. Reread when my first read ain't even done.
I mean, I did that with Solo Leveling. But at the same time, it's been like 3-4 years since I'd read it.
Yeah.
So.
I want that feeling. Without waiting 3 or 4 years without reading it. I even already thought about Trojan X because I ran into like there was one really, really good fight, and then I'm like, man, I wish I could read up to that fight again.
Like just that like one
arc? Like a few chapters before it into it.
Well, at least that's just a few chapters. It's not the whole series.
Maybe a little more. But yeah, still.
No, I get that. You just want to like because if you're reading it, like not so much Children X with you, but still kind of because you're not reading it, binging it. You're kind of like reading a little bit here, a little bit there,
a little chunk.
It's kind of like if you wanted to like go back and reread the whole Gojo versus Sukuna fight or something.
I do, and I went back and read Sendai Colony, so this all tracks.
Yeah, because like you read something weekly, now you just want to binge it all together and get the whole story in one go. You know what I mean?
It was such a good fight, too. It was like, it's Naruto versus Sasuke moment.
Oh, JJK's? Yeah.
No, Chojin X's.
Oh,
but yes,
really?
JJK's.
Yeah, Sukuna versus Gojo was huge.
No, this one was even like a friends with built-up tension fight, too. So that's why I was like, specifically Naruto versus Sasuke for the Chojin one.
Yeah. Nice. Someday.
Yeah, I hope. I know you will. I know you'll like it, too, because Sui Ishida.
I need to finish Tokyo Ghoul first. I'm like, I don't even know. Probably, give or take, 20 to 30 away from finishing Tokyo Ghoul. And that's probably being generous. It's
Should
probably
have done that instead of solo leveling.
Yeah, it's also longer than solo leveling.
The Chojin X problem, where each of those chapters is like 2 or 3 of a regular manga.
Because it's probably more like the 15 to 20 chapters that I didn't finish. Because it's like, there's one dude left for them to take out. And then I know there's a bunch of like closure stuff. But I know what basically happens because I've seen spoilers. It's been so many years. I've seen people talk about it. And I already knew most of everything anyway. So it's like, okay. But then I'd have to reread that whole arc again because I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I don't remember shit.
Boo. Speaking of which, I actually barely remember what's going on in Chojin X now that you mentioned.
Didn't you said you just read some though, right? Or no, you're behind now.
I'm behind now. I'm like 7 behind, which is probably like 15 in regular manga chapters, 15 in Fujimoto chapters.
Because you had caught up, though, at one point, didn't you?
I did.
And would you do catch up and then just stop?
Yeah, because we don't talk about it. So anytime, like, it's that last day of the week and I'm binging some manga, I'm binging all the ones we need to talk about.
Makes sense.
By the time I'm done with that, I'm like, oh, I don't want to read more manga right now. I'm full.
You're full.
Yeah, because literally this week, I read everything today.
No, I read basically everything yesterday, except for KaguraBachi.
KaguraBachi.
I read that today.
I watched a movie yesterday.
Yes, and I read obviously Dandadan today because it comes out today.
Yes.
So, speaking of that movie, is it Everything Everywhere All at Once or something like that? Did I get it right?
So goddamn good. Yes, you did actually perfectly. Mwah. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. What a fucking banger.
Is it like an old-ass movie, or is it...
No, it's newer. It's like 2022. I think it won an Oscar. I could be wrong about the Oscar, but it's definitely nominated. Such a fucking banger. If you asked me like a week ago or told me what it was about, I wouldn't have thought I would like it. Because it's totally a multiverse story, and I'm so... up to here with multiverses. I'm so done with the concept, but it's done so goddamn well.
You should watch Into the Spider-Verse on Netflix.
Yeah, you know what's funny? My partner just saw that when scrolling. He's like, well, what is this? Is this the regular Spider-Verse? No, that's a different word there. He didn't know it came out.
The new one?
Yeah, he was like, is this a new Spider-Verse? I'm like, yeah.
The next one they're saying isn't for another 5 years.
Good for them. Good for them.
So like, yeah, we're gonna...
That's how you get good movies.
Well, then you watch it and you're like, oh, I see why. Animation qualities.
Oh, yeah. I loved the first one. We're probably by the time next week that we do this episode, we'll have watched that. Because we immediately threw that on the list.
There you go.
But Everything Everywhere All at Once. You should absolutely watch this movie.
On Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It has all the fun of like Jackie Chan combat fights with like the multiverse stuff with really nice like themes. Like the messaging in it, like what the movie's about. It has some of like the most hopeful theming ever. Like I felt like I walked out of that movie a better person. I cried like twice. But like something you said earlier actually reminded me of it. I forgot what it is. It was the head tilt with Famine because there's one scene. Like, the whole point of it is you can jump to the consciousness of yourself in another timeline, like in another branching decision. So there's one girl that literally does that. Like, it shows you on camera. She tilts her head. It goes to one dimension, tilts back another, and tilts again. It was her like jumping like 4 different universes. It was one of the coolest shots I've seen.
Can someone then, one of your other cells, jump into your universe?
Theoretically, yes, but thankfully didn't get to that. Because the other thing they do is like, it's like linking your mind to that universe to get their experience. You're literally, and the way she looks, like it like shows you like what she sees. She's seeing both at once and controlling both of herselves at the same time. So she like dips into one that has martial arts experience to fight people. And the funniest part too is sometimes when they do that connection to another universe, it'll show you the branching life choices that led to that version of her. It'll be like, at this point, instead of marrying her husband, she went this way and zigzagged that way. And now she's a movie star that knows Kung Fu. It's so goddamn good.
Now, is this just a limited number of people that can do this ability, or is it just everyone?
Yes, it's a specific technology.
Oh, interesting.
And one person who fractured themselves to be that way always. She experiences everything, everywhere, all at once. She's like, she'll feel, just like how I said, she connects to one person, controls them both at the same time. This person is controlling all of her possible selves and experiencing all of her possible selves at the same time.
That just sounds like a brain aneurysm.
It really does. She is crazy as balls, but also like one of the coolest villains ever. She rolls up on some security guards.
Oh, of course she's the villain, because that's not a superhero ability.
No, she literally walks up to a guy, pokes him on the nose, and he becomes confetti. It's fucking awesome.
There's a universe out there somewhere that poke your nose and you die.
We're confetti people.
How she brought that into our world, nobody knows.
It was so good. So goddamn good.
And it's just a movie, you said?
Yeah, it's just a movie.
It's not serious
I want to say like 2 hours, 10 minutes-ish. Maybe 2:20.
Maybe I'll check it out.
With subtitles. It's not completely in Chinese. It's a great mix because it's a Chinese woman who owns a laundromat.
Yeah.
And it does a mix of both speaking Chinese and speaking English. So you're going to want closed captions in general. But I also think it's just such a... She's literally like your stereotypical Chinese woman running a laundromat. In like kind of the best ways. Like it just felt like a real representation of her.
Beauteous.
Yeah, kind of refreshing.
I'll have to check it out.
Let me know if you do, because I've been on a string of great movies, but this one's...
The problem is, the only person in this house that goes on Netflix is my son. And he's on the child's Netflix.
Yeah.
So I don't even like scroll through Netflix to get a reminder of things that are on there that I need to watch or whatever. Because I only like... He's like, can I watch Netflix? Yeah, sure. What do you want to watch? Sonic. That's just all he wants to watch these days. Is
yeah, you don't even get to see like that what the algorithm would want to serve you.
Yeah, because I'm choosing the kids' version, so it's just all kid stuff. Like I see Blippi and Cocomelon and shit that's on there. Not that he watches Cocomelon anymore. Thank God.
The worst. That and the AI-generated YouTube schlop.
Oh my God. He's still at... So we got a smart TV for him.
3 little kittens, they lost their mittens.
I'd know that song, yes. But no, so he likes YouTube too, because he can. What he really likes watching on YouTube is like Lego stuff.
Nice.
It stems from when he was a little bit younger. Somehow it stumbled, either autoplayed into it or he saw it and clicked on it. It was this dude that would just build a bunch of like he'd first show him building it. It's just like a convoluted ramp system, like kind of out of like Lego-esque stuff, but not Lego stuff. And then it'd just be like a giant slide things, and then he'd just put marbles on it, and the marbles would go on it, and it's just like my son would just be vegetable at the TV, just like
geeking.
Oh, just loving it. So now that stems into he will watch. Legos, like people just building Lego stuff, like
nice.
45-minute video, he'll sit there and watch the person build the whole thing. But there's this, I'm not going to say it's popular child's YouTuber or whatever, it's It's a kid, his dad, and his younger sister, and they just do like crazy stuff around their own house, like with cars and like they're playing games just all the time. You know what I mean? They make YouTube videos on it and they put it out on YouTube. Millions of views each one of his videos, but the child is very unruly and is not very nice to either the father and the dad just lets him do whatever because dad's the one like camcorder and dad's just like, we're making so much money. So some of the child's bad behaviors has seeped through with my son. So like YouTube is broken in this house.
Yeah.
So can I watch YouTube? No, sorry, it doesn't work. Because
working.
he would only want to watch that now. And we're like, nope. We can watch Netflix because he's not on Netflix. So, Sonic it is.
Good choice.
So yeah, kids Netflix, never on actual Netflix because this.
Next time you're on actual Netflix, watch that movie. You're gonna fucking love it. I know you enough to know you're gonna love this goddamn movie.
Because I feel like this. Oh yeah, Edge Runners. I haven't finished that.
Oh, it's so good.
And
the first thing I want to say out of my mouth is like a spoiler, and I don't.
I know all the spoilers. I know everyone who dies, and I know.
Oh, because in the Cyberpunk game, I think they added it on the update. There's a drink at the afterlife named after David Martinez. Because every legend in Night City has their drink immortalizing their identity after they die.
Yeah. Because
it's the one piece of junk in my inventory I won't scrap. I bought one David Martinez.
Nice. Yeah, because that I forget his name. The big dude killed him.
Mm-hmm. Adam Smasher.
Adam Smasher, yeah.
It's fucking brutal, dude. Like, goddamn.
Right after, because Rebecca dies in the same fight, right?
Yeah, just before, yeah. He fucking Adam Smasher be like, this is all fancy shit. You're just fucking leaning on these anti-gravity systems. Let me take those fuck off. Brutal.
But yeah, I need to finish Edge Runners. Bastard. I was enjoying that. I only watched the first 3 or 4
Castlevania Nocturne.
Yep.
Beastars.
Season 2. Yep.
Though I'm sure once 3 comes out, you'll probably just binge 2 and then finish it out to the end. Because I'm pretty sure 3 is the last season.
Most likely. And I think that's it for Netflix.
I still want to watch Arcane, actually. I keep not giving it the chance.
That's the League of Legends thing? Yeah.
The one about Jinx and Ashe? No. I'm thinking of a character that looks exactly like her from Paladins. And now I'll never unsee this comparison, too. Holy shit.
So, Jinx, I think, is the only character from League that I actually know their name. Just because she's, everywhere.
I think Jinx is also the only character I know their name, and I've actually touched League. But I know she has a sister that's in the anime. V.
Yeah, that's
because I've seen her in the character select.
Very far away from Ashe.
Yeah, because I've seen her in the character select.
Ah, yes.
I'll be sad if I didn't even remember the Paladin's character right. Yeah, no, it just looks like her. Same haircut.
It's that. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's the Paladin's one.
Wasn't Paladins made by
Hi-Rez?
Hi-Rez, yes.
I forget what their tagline was. It's something, play better together or something.
Whatever. I haven't played Smite in forever. I haven't played anything in forever.
I played some Battlefront 2.
Oh, it came out. How is it?
It's all right.
Just all right?
Is it? Right. The offline modes are all of their nostalgic glory, but I've been having internet trouble lately. It's finally starting to get better. B, I don't know what it's like on the consoles, but there's a big drama right now that when they released on PC, they only had 3 servers that could hold a maximum of 200 people. These are 64 player max lobbies. That's literally 3 lobbies.
Yeah, just barely 3 lobbies.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was the same on console. On day 1, I had people coming into my room.
That's not 3 lobbies. It's 2.
Is it 2?
3 is 212.
Brutal. Yeah, so
It's 2 lobbies.
So, like, I am enjoying the game, but I feel like the online's going to die even faster because this has caused it to be, like, overwhelmingly negative on Steam. So that's just going to cascade into...
Have you played online stuff?
Yeah, I played a little bit. Like, day one, I was able to actually get people in my room. I haven't been able to since. So I'm wondering if people hopped off waiting for updates or if it's more server issues. But that first day, I did have, like, at least 30 people in a room with me, and it was... Mwah.
Is it just a port, or did they update anything?
It's just a port. It's absolutely just a port. In fact, people have also been pointing out how the original game is like 7 gigs, and this port is like 60.
Of course it is.
Of course yeah. Of course. I was like, that's gaming. But yeah, it has some of the content that went to Xbox that I never played because I've never owned an Xbox. Yeah. So for me, it has some new content. And they let you play one of the modes that could only be played on one map on every map. It's the mode where you can like pick any of the Jedis or Sith and actually duke it out like that. But, yeah. I kind of like playing as the soldiers, to be honest.
Did you do space battles?
I haven't yet, though. That's one thing I haven't done. Like, when I did with the lobby is it lets you set up what maps can come up in like a rotation. Mm-hmm. So I took every single map and put it into the rotation, including the space versions like for every map, shoved them in there too, and they didn't come up. So maybe next time I'll set up a space battle lobby.
There you go.
Because I miss it. I miss boarding their Star Destroyer. It's my favorite feeling in the world because you just land a dropship into their their hangar, and then that becomes a spawn point. So you could just spawn inside their hangar and kill them before they get in their spaceships. It's so great. It was one of my favorite things to do.
Glorious.
You shoot their systems from the inside, take over one of the turrets that shoots on the outside, and use it to shoot their life support.
Are the space battles multiplayer only?
No. The whole game you can play with bots. So, like, even when I didn't have people in my lobby, I at least had bots to play against while I waited for people. Which is prime nostalgia for me, because that's what I did as a kid. I didn't have an online connection for my PS2, so I was playing these maps against bots all the fucking time.
Can you play co-op against bots?
Yes.
See, because I was thinking maybe I would get it, but it's like, it's right there. With my
it
PS2,
is right there.
Right there with the TV.
I would tell you to do that because it's also like $35 isn't expensive, but $35 is expensive for a game you don't know if you'll play for more than like a week.
Yeah.
I would either do that or just buy the original version on Steam because they didn't delist the original version on Steam.
Especially with like the way gaming is for me right now.
It'll look better on the PS2, to be honest. Like, this isn't like me shitting on their work bringing it up to like PS5, like remastering it. It's still just the plain facts that we've come across that these games are made for CRT TVs.
Yep.
They're going to look better on CRT TVs, and I still think that holds true. These horrible textures don't look better when you upscale them. They look worse when you upscale them.
For real.
I need it on a dark, fuzzy screen. But I'm satisfied with my $35 because I know I'll probably finish the story on both games.
It's just that I need to be much more choosy now with the games that I play because with the new job being further away, so now my commute's longer, so my day's longer, and I start way earlier in the day, which means I go to bed earlier at night. But my son still goes to bed at the same time. So it's really just any amount of game time has just been cut down. So, like, it's been 3 weeks now, and I still haven't beaten Rebirth.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
But it's
I'm
also
sure you're peeling off every single corner of that game.
Oh, actually, I have been, yeah.
Yeah. If you were just playing the story, you would have finished it.
Yeah.
So I know you enough to know that you're doing everything in that game.
There's a 0% chance to get the trophy, though, the platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already found 2 that I don't think I'd be able to get, even if I tried.
You think on your second playthrough someday you will?
No.
Oh, brutal.
So, the game is difficult already in some aspects. And so, one of the trophies is to beat the game on hard mode, which you unlock after beating the game the first time.
Oh, boy.
Because I'm on dynamic, which is easy, normal, dynamic, and then hard mode. And I remember from hard mode in Remake, it just means that everything does more damage. But not only that, like they add things in the fight.
I prefer adding things in the fight. I just wish they did upscale also. Like choose a path.
Well, because this is really hard, like Coliseum fight in Remake. You fight. It's actually a really dope house. You're fighting it's like a Baba Yaga's fucking house.
I remember that enemy from the original 7, actually.
Yeah, it's a house with legs.
Yeah.
And you're fighting that in the Coliseum. And that was a kind of hard fight, just doing it normal. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that fight, it's just Cloud and Aerith. It's forced.
In the original 7, it absolutely was, because that was a mob in the junkyard section. I remember, because there's a beam to walk up to the high ground, and every single time I try to play 7, I miss this fucking beam, and it takes me forever to realize how to move forward in it. Because it's painted backdrops. It all looks flat to me. I can't tell what's actually walk-upable at first glance. And I end up having to fight like 20 of these fucking houses walking around. So I remember that mob incredibly well.
Brutal.
So that is very accurate to the original. That's you and Aerith.
So what I heard in the hard mode is they just threw 2 Tonberries in the fight.
Ooh.
And Tonberries in Remake are just beyond tanky. They're way easier.
Tonberries in general.
They're way easier to deal with in Rebirth. They'll still one-shot you in Rebirth. Yeah. And they have 2 moves. 3. Like, staring menacingly at you, which isn't really a move. Then an ability that it's like a slow-moving orb that if you're not paying attention, it hits you. You're stuck there, and then they'll teleport in front of you and do the chef stab.
Oh, my God.
And chef stab will kill you instantly. So, if you're busy fighting the boss, not paying attention,
I'm also assuming if you happen to just be right in front of it, it'll do the chef stab too.
Yeah, but it's also if they're just
incredibly slow. Yeah, I know the teleporting part's I'm just guessing that it's also to like keep you away from them the whole fight too.
Yeah, it's pretty telegraphed because it says right above the head, "Chef's stab," and then you just dodge away, and then they stab the air, and then you go back at them. In Rebirth, you just can burst them down pretty easy, but in Remake, the only way you could even do any real damage to them is to stagger them, and then you have to kill them in the stagger. Then they come out, and then it's just like you do like no damage again, and you have to build up that stagger.
I have Final Fantasy 13 PTSD because every time you say stagger, I think of the ATB system.
Well, that's what it is.
It is, I know, but I'm just like, I like it better in this than there.
Yeah, 13 was rough with it. 15 had it, and
brutal because 13's UI was like god tier. The battle UI itself, like if you just took it from an aesthetic perspective, mwah.
I'll replay it eventually.
I'm really still holding out hope that they'll re-release a collection of all 3, but that'll probably be like 180 gigs. Now that I think about it, because those are all pretty modern games
and pretty large games,
and pretty beautiful games. The whole fact that the half of 13 is linear because of how much space that game probably took up. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That game was fucking gorgeous.
They
didn't have the room to make the whole game free roam.
Because I have 13.2 and 13.3 for PS3.
13.2.
But I have 13
One of
for
these
Xbox
things is
360.
not like the other. One of these games is good.
I like 13.
I like 13 too. I never got that far in 13.1. Nobody liked 13.3.
13.3 is trash. And I got all the way to the final boss, fought him once, was like, this thing's...
Which was God, right? Because I mean,
basically.
From like the very first moment in that game, it's pretty much like God's the bad guy.
Yeah, so I was like, this is a hard fight. It's going to take me like probably 5 or 6 times to beat it. Do I want to go through this right now? No, I don't. Maybe next time. there was no next time.
That game is... I would love to do, like, a replay of that game specifically to figure out why I stopped giving a shit.
13-3?
Yeah, because when I started
I also
that game,
hate that the entire game is timed.
Yes, that's probably what did it, too. Because I remember loving the combat at first. Even the dress switching system to, like, switch your skills in your combat. I was loving that at first. And then I just stopped playing.
Because the story is just terrible.
I think that's what it is. The story's really fucking bad.
Super bad.
Incredibly convoluted. They took our feelings away to blackmail us with our feelings. What? Excuse me? So I took all of Hope's and Lightning's emotions away. Then I'm like, if you want your sister back...
It's basically...
But you shouldn't care. You have no emotion.
It's like 13's story was... It made sense. And it was kind of just wrapped up.
It was like Rebels against the state.
Yeah.
It was really simple, man.
And then 13-2, no matter how much we love that game...
Has a garbage story.
Fucked the plot so bad. It Kingdom Heartsified its own plot.
Literally. We talked about multiverses earlier.
They dealt with time, which is the problem.
You know, at that moment, I loved the story of 13-2.
I just love Caius. Caius is so good.
I loved Future Hope. Future Hope was
13-3?
A banger. No, 13-2.
Oh,
when
yes,
you go to the Academia Future, and Hope is like a science Chad.
Yeah, and then you see him in 13-3.
And they made him a child again for no reason.
But then it's not even Hope the whole time. That's just God in disguise.
Is it really? Is that why? Because I thought it was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life is with Lightning, like, it's like, oh, you're young again. Hope is literally like, yes, God took my feelings and made me look young again for some reason. I literally had to, like, step back for a second. I'm like, do I want to keep playing this?
The only good thing about 13-3 that I liked was when you go to fight Caius, right? As Lightning. Because you have to, he's got something.
Yeah, to get that far. I fought the first 2 bosses.
Well, because you go there and you know how when you fight a boss, right, in a video game, and you're beating the boss's ass, and then it goes to the cutscene, and like the boss is just all cocky, being like, haha, you did nothing to me, blah blah blah, and you're like, bitch, I was just beating your ass. That's what happens in 13. But it's like, it was kind of a hard fight, but I mean, once you get it,
every time in 13-3.
But it's just so, like, it's especially good with Caius, right? Because you fight Caius and you don't actually, like, you never see his health bar completely deplete. You get it down to, like, that sliver, and then it goes to the cutscene. But then as the cutscene ends, you do a clash, and Caius, like, just wins the fight. And then he walks to his chair, sits down, and is just like, fuck off.
Is that
and
kind of how
Snow
Snow went too, though? Like, Snow was at a party, you barge in, and you definitely didn't, like, kill him. Didn't Snow just be like, leave me alone, I want to, like, live out the rest of the time here?
Which is
not
weird, too.
Of Sarah?
Because it's like, he went, I forget what they call it, something with an I. What are they in the original game?
Oh, God, Lassie?
Yes. Oh, jeez, how do you pull this stuff out, you fucking asshole?
Because it's Lassie, Falsi, and then another C.
Yeah, and all of those terms had just went dormant in my brain and just forgot about them. But anyway,
I don't remember if you kill Noel, because he's the first boss. Noel?
You just kind of beat him up, and then he cries.
I don't think there's any boss you actually finish off. It's literally just like...
Yeah. Because it was...
God, that game was garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just liked
because everyone likes to say how, like, oh, Lightning is so strong, this, that, and the other. I was like, Caius beat her ass every time he was on screen in everything. In 13-2, he fucking off-screens her.
Yeah.
And then in 13-3, he sits in a chair and says, you're unworthy for my attention. Just leave me here and go away. Because he's there with all of the different incarnations of, what's her name?
Oh no, I won't remember that one.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about the ones that can, like, see the future and shit.
Yeah, because even they kind of, like, some of them are on Lightning's side, but then some of them are just like, leave guys the fuck alone.
Yeah. Another thing that makes that writing garbage, too, is I remember how it's, like, literally just, like, a write more in plot. Like, they had a period, the story was done, and they're like, no, let's keep writing, period. I still want to keep writing. And the biggest sign for me is that the biggest threat in 13 is the fal'Cie, the ones that like contract the Lussies to do like their prophecy bidding and shit. And then 13.2, they pull it back and they're like, well, the fal'Cies were made by the goddesses to govern man, I guess. And then they pull that back. The goddesses were created by God. It just reeks of garbage writing. Like, it really does. Down to the very core.
Yes. So bad.
Sucks that one of the better combat systems had to be weighed down with the worst plot. 13.2 is still the best one of all of them. Because it marriages having, like, a comprehensible plot with having good combat and then Pokemon.
And it, so far, has the best Gilgamesh fight. I say so far, because I am literally standing on Gilgamesh Island in Rebirth right now. I was like, oh, I'm about to fight Gilgamesh, so I'm going to go do this. And he's like, before that, you must do these, like, 3 things or whatever. So I go up to this thing, and it's like, the Genji equipment, and I'm like, okay, so I'm doing a fight. What am I going to fight? Oh, I have to fight Bahamut and Titan at the same time. Cool.
Brutal.
Cool. Let's do this. So I'm really scared that one of them's going to be Odin, because I can't beat Odin.
I'm not gonna lie, I would like sell a fingernail to do the 13.2 DLCs again, to run that fucking gauntlet. Those fights were so goddamn hard. The 13.2 Coliseum.
I didn't beat all of them.
I think I beat 2 of them, which was Omega, the one everybody beat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm just falsifying this memory in my brain, but I swear I beat Poo Poo. I swear to God I did.
I beat Poo Poo. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think I beat Gilgamesh, because you can only really do damage to him when you stagger him, and you have to do it. Yeah. But it's still such a badass fight.
In 13.1 that you can fight in the Coliseum. She had like a baton or a whip or something. She was a rough fight too.
Oh, Vanille?
No, it was it was like a refighting an enemy from 13.1.
Oh, okay. Because I know you can fight Snow in that 13.2.
Yes, which I also did not beat.
Neither did I, because he's brutal. And then you can fight the dude that you talk to the whole time. And he turns into this giant fucking, like, minotaur thing. And then apparently if you beat him, you can get him as one, because you know you
That's
can
why I wanted to beat them too.
And I'm like, I want you on my team.
Let me see if this has like a table of contents.
Because there's a specific strategy to build Gilgamesh, and I used the strategy, and it didn't work for me. But it's still such a boss fight. Okay, so it's Omega, so fun.
Lightning, and someone else whose name I don't even recognize. I think this is the chick I was talking about. Gilnabat.
Sure.
She looks like she just has like a baton.
Oh, she's definitely familiar to me, at least.
She was
like visually
brutal too. Ultros and Typhon.
I remember that. I think I did beat that one, to be honest with you.
I know I didn't. Gilgamesh. Poo Poo. I think that's everybody.
Maybe I did.
Poo Poo was fucking hard though. I still don't know if I actually beat Poo Poo. I feel so unconfident saying I did, because that shit was so hard. Because the UFO would spawn more, and if there's a full amount of poo-poos, they start casting meteors on you. So you have to find a way to stop them getting reinforced while surviving the meteors, while killing one to stop them from meteoring. But I'm pretty sure even the UFO resummons itself after a certain amount of time. Like if you destroy it and don't kill poo-poos fast enough, I'm pretty sure the UFO comes back.
I'm
actually gonna.
I got a UFO
change. I don't think I beat poo-poo.
I don't remember either, to be honest with you, at this point. I have a poo-poo UFO mount in 14 now.
Hey!
It's so cool.
I remember desperately wanting poo-poo on my team, so that's the fight I tried the most. And again, everyone beat Omega, so...
Yeah.
That's so great. That is so great. The way it's pulling you up by the chest is just, like, perfect.
Yeah, you're just being abducted, and you just fly around like that. It's great. So good. And so we got this whole story because all from Stagger.
Yes.
But yeah, so 7 Rebirth is the only game I play now.
Nice.
It's just
Cyberpunk, baby. Cyberpunk and predecessor. Because I really want to beat Cyberpunk.
How far do you think, or how close to beating it do you think you are, roughly? If you had to guess.
Don't make me cry.
Why?
Probably like, if I'm being optimistic, probably a third. Not including the DLC.
As in you're only a third of the way into the game?
I've done so much side content.
I feel that.
Because there's, like, some of the side quests are just really good, and I just want to make money to get all of my upgrades. Like, I've never cared more about optimizing in a single-player game than Cyberpunk. I'm constantly getting better, like implants for my body, constantly trying to make better guns and hacks. Bought an apartment. For no reason to. I didn't need it. I'm just like, I just want to own an apartment in this game.
Well, I started doing all the side quests in 7 because I was afraid that some of them might go away if I progressed too far in the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm just going to do all the quests as they appear. So that's what I've been doing. And then I fell in love with, like, all of the games. Like, the mini games that are in that game.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, the side characters for a second there.
They're alright. There are a good lot. Sisney is back from Crisis Core. Like,
yes.
I met her. I didn't know she was in the game. I was literally thinking about her the day before. I'd be like, damn, man, they need to bring some Sisney back into some stories somehow. And then I meet her when you get to Gunganga.
I still need to do some Final Fantasy VII research now after the last week. I think it was last week when we had a revelation that fucking Vincent was like after/in love with the person that was with Hojo. Lucrezia.
Yeah. Which I swear, is there not a Kingdom Hearts character named that?
There probably is. It's a very Kingdom Heartsy name.
It is. I could have sworn it was one
of
the
Vincent's also in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to find out.
Oh, good fucking luck spelling this.
I'm going to try.
Kingdom Hearts, the L name. Luxord,
how would you spell it?
Luca.
How do you spell Crezia?
I think I'm gonna guess XR. Oh, I'm already feeling not too great about it.
All right, let's do it this way then. Let's type Final Fantasy VII Lucrezia. There you go. So we'll do this.
Lucretia. No, that's a noblewoman from ancient Rome. Never mind.
Let's do this. And then do Kingdom Hearts.
Nope.
Hey,
wait.
Maybe.
Oh, that's a Final Fantasy VII screenshot, though.
Right here.
I want to disappear. I couldn't be with anyone. I wanted to die.
Yeah, and that's Cloud and Vincent standing next to each other. I mean, maybe Vincent just mentions her.
Because it is, like, his reason for living?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have actually finished Dirge of Cerberus, but I would love to know more about how that...
Just watch a YouTube video
of Dirge of Cerberus.
A plot recap.
Immediately go, my eyes flashbanged.
It was hard playing that game, dude. Because it's a third-person shooter with horrendous melee combat.
You had to literally switch between modes to even do both.
Yeah, it was...
Because when you go to pull up the gun, it goes first-person mode, but then when you want to do quick melees, like, you got to be out of first-person mode.
Yeah, it was not...
conducive to being a good game.
It was just at the time that I was playing it, I was in that 7 hype. Because
it was also
I played
a perfect PS2 game, to be honest. Like, you weren't getting much better from the PS2.
Yeah, and honestly, at the time I played it, because when I went and got into the 7 universe, I played Crisis Core first. Then played 7. Then played Dirge of Cerberus.
Based. Holy shit, based.
So I was like... Those were the games I played, and those were the only games. So I was like high on the 7 lore at the time, and that's what really got me through Dirge of Cerberus. I don't think if it was just a game and I was playing it and I wasn't attached to figuring out the whole story.
Maybe. I mean, Vincent looks really cool, though.
Yeah, super edgelord.
Super edgelord.
But, whatever. Never gonna play it again. Guarantee you that. But yeah, that's basically... I mean, I haven't really done much else in Rebirth, like, notable, other than side content.
Yeah.
Because I got to a point where it's just like, here's an uber amount of extra side content unlocked. But then also, the story probably going to the linear phase. So do your side content. So I've been doing my side content.
I've been doing my side content in Cyberpunk simply because I was broke. I'm like, I don't know how much money a story quest is getting at me, but I know how much all these side quests and side gigs are getting at me. It's going to be some fast cash.
Well, that's the thing in 7.2 was because I spent most of the game, like each weapon, say, is somewhere, I think, around 5,000 a weapon, and I was hovering around 10,000 the whole time. So, but you can find every weapon in a chest somewhere, so if you come to like a new area and they're selling like 2 weapons, chances are those 2 weapons are in a chest somewhere, so you're better off exploring first. But I always, like, had like small amounts of money, but now I'm just rolling in it and I have nothing to spend it on because I'm in the gold saucer, so most of what I'm buying is with gold saucer points now anyway, so it's like my gil has just become useless.
That's where Cyberpunk's got me. There's just so much frivolous shit to spend your money on top of the stuff you need to buy, like weapons and upgrades.
Because it's like, what are you gonna buy? It's like antidote, gold needles, fucking maiden's kisses and all those things. It's like maybe there's one fight in the game you use a few of those items, but it's like once you have 20 of them, you never need to buy another one again.
I think JRPGs need to do a little bit more embracing of Western RPGs in the sense of like buying housing and customizing a space. I think it would go a long way.
So there is a space that you can pseudo customize in the sense that you can collect these certain like collectible things going around.
I take that to like a trophy room. Kinda.
Yeah, but you don't put the trophies anywhere. It's just you gain them and then you go here and they're displayed for you. But there's trophies for them, and I'm pretty sure I got the one. I don't think there's a trophy for getting all of them. I haven't looked at all of the hidden trophies.
Yeah,
but there were 2 trophies. There's one for getting one of the item, and then one for getting 30 right below it. But then the next trophy below that is unrelated to them. So that tells
I think
me
that's pretty safe. Yeah, pretty safe bet.
But again, I'm not getting the piano trophy. It is beyond me. There are memes about
I'm simply not built for this.
There are memes about how difficult they are, and
I think Square Enix isn't the best at rhythm games, and I know because I play their rhythm games.
But it's like I don't think it's Square Enix and games developers that make their own trophies. I think it's.
I don't know if they make their own trophies, but they made the piano game itself.
Yes.
So its difficulty is inexorably linked to their ability to make rhythm games. Yes. And let me tell you, I think each theatrhythm has gotten worse.
So, beating that game, unlikely. I mean, the getting that piano trophy, unlikely, and
unless you like bunker down and treat that one piano game like a fighting game and devote your life to practice the piano game.
I'll have to try again, but there's a side quest that I couldn't beat recently because it's you got to play each mini game, beat the dude's high score in each mini game in the gold saucer, and then the last one is to fight him in the boxing mini game, and the boxing mini game is just so hard for me to comprehend, dude. There's only 3 inputs for each left and right, so 6 total inputs that you have to worry about. So it's like the character goes to punch you, and it's either an uppercut, a straight, or a hook. And you can either down, dodges uppercuts, up, blocks straights, and then left or right.
Sounds like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah, blocks the other one. So that's all, and it's telegraphed too. But a straight and a hook look exactly the same to me when they go to start, so I always fail. And it's like, and then they do their thing, and the only time you can hit them is after they do a few hits, they'll like kind of like taunt you or whatever in a specific way, so you have to punch them either on their left or right, whichever way they're taunting. And then you build up your limit break bar, and whoever gets the limit break first wins the match. But like you hit them once and your bar moves, they hit you once and it like chunk, and I'm just like, oh my god. And it's like I tried like 4 or 5 times and I just couldn't do it, so I was like, I'm just gonna not do this right now. It's just a side quest
sanity
in the gold saucer. It's not going away. I can come back whenever I want.
Watch you beat that and you get Omega Weapon, knowing Final Fantasy.
Well,
Was there a fishing game, actually? Sorry.
No.
Because I was going to say, if there was, that'd be where Omega Weapon's going to be.
Well, I still am under the impression the Ultimate Blade for Cloud would be in the Gold Saucer somewhere, but I haven't found it anywhere in there.
I'm sure it is, though. I'm sure it's connected to a mini game.
Because I'm pretty sure that's where it was in original 7.
Probably. Again, they love to do that.
So, but again, I haven't looked at all the hidden trophies, so I don't know if there's another trophy in there that's just like
I think,
even
again,
more
I'm having
impossible.
to fish to get the Zodiac Spear.
I got that.
Indeed.
Well, it's actually that's Torgal or something like that. The Zodiac Spear is different.
Indeed.
Much harder because it's dumb luck. But I got it through safe scumming.
I still love that they put a whole fucking room of 16 treasure chests. You open any of them and it fucks your chances for Zodiac Spear.
Yep. And
what
I opened
beautiful trolls.
all of them.
I did too because I found out after I opened them.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, well.
That's another game I need to go back to. Is Zodiac Age, because I beat the story, but I didn't beat it to the extent that I beat original 12 back in the PS2 days.
Blasphemy.
Because if there's ever a Final Fantasy game that deserves me getting it platinum,
12.
it's 12. I did not get it for 16 because I missed a side quest somewhere. And I don't know if it's because I know that Remake adds side quests in hard mode too.
Yeah.
Or in New Game Plus, so it's impossible to get the platinum in your first playthrough because you need to beat it in hard again, and then there's more side quests because there's a trophy for beating all side quests. But somewhere in 16, I missed a side quest, and I was like, "How?" Because I was going ham on that game too.
Yeah.
Trophy wise, there's zero end game in 16. It's just all story. Side content is very minimal in 16.
And most people sounded like they didn't like what was there.
Yeah. It's just
the regular
quests.
side quest. The side quest.
That's it, yeah. I mean, some of them are cool because you get to know with the characters. And
then some of them are, I don't have pumpkins. Go get me some pumpkins.
There are some of those, yes. But at least the side quests that have to do with, named characters that you care about, not just, you're doing a quest for the lady that sells things.
I was thinking all the ones in the main base at the beginning sucked balls. Go serve this food to people.
Yeah. The blacksmith quest line is fucking dope.
Nice.
That one's dope. But, I mean, then there's, for each dope side quest, there's a bullshit side quest. Go get me this item or go kill this fiend for me because I can't do it.
How do I get back on that? It had such banging combat. I'm such a DMC fan that.
Oh, I love the combat. It's such a good game.
I was such a DMC fan. I should actually specify.
I am the storm that is approaching.
On that note, manga.
Yes.
The storm that is approaching. Chihiro.
This is a banging chapter
There
for
was a
KaguraBachi.
Banging chapter.
It also just shows that Mr. Shiba can just teleport away at will, wherever he wants to fucking go.
Whatever
he goes,
he fucking wants.
and with whoever he wants.
Also, he's just such a boss too. When he's like, "Man, I should bring this to a 5v2 instead." Oh, you're so. Oh, my man. The fact he's so locked in.
He's just Mr. Shiba is just not stressed at all.
No, he's
not
at all.
He's just confident the whole time. He's like, I just think I got this.
Also, this such a good command of fights. The way they stopped Chihiro's movement with the fucking shockwave, they cut his momentum with it. Oh, the Shiba's like, whoop.
This panel right here with the shockwave damage to the apartment building or whatever, Mr. Shiba's like, well,
shit.
Looks like he's the strongest one. But
that's what he even says it too. It's better if I bring this guy back and fight 5-on-2.
Yes.
I'm just like, damn, man.
I also love how synergized Tao, is that what they're called?
Yes.
Are with the father, and how he's just able to just like give them new weapons on the fly.
So cold, all around cold.
I love what's cold is he's just walked over and sat on this bench and watched them fight. He's like, I'm just gonna sit right here and just chill.
Also, even the internal monologues and strategizing, I'm digging it. The way he's like, and yet he chooses to remain here alone, despite being able to leave whenever.
Mr. Shiba's timing, too.
It's so good. That was the best goddamn page turn. From, again, the really clever use of using the shockwave to cut his momentum, to boop!
Mr. Shiba's here, and you're shockwaving each other.
The dynamic of him coming in, too. The way he's, like, flying overhead, and you can see the lines of, like, what I would assume is there. Like, atoms coming to this location.
Right.
I love that effect. That's almost like digitizing.
Yes. Yes. It was so good.
Yo, hey, how's my timing? Perfect.
And then the dad is just like, yes, that confirms it. And just summons Hakurei.
So good.
Right in front of him.
Again, the way he pieces it together, I really like the inner monologues they have, too. That guy from before. So that phone call. And Soya says he found Hakurei.
I see what's going on.
I thought it was suspicious. I thought of it when you popped up in my house, but I didn't want to believe it. It just summons him. And then you get the drop that everyone in the family's registered to the storehouse so he can summon them at will. I love that he even says it's to summon them to protect his children, too, despite using it for this right now.
Yeah.
You do get that actual sense of his like mental state through like all of those little lines. Him being like, I'm trembling with rage and sadness, but still admitting he doesn't want to kill his son. But still going to.
Yeah, because he's like, at the same time, you're just like useless to me.
Yeah, you're useless to me even as a hostage. It all ends with Chihiro giving up N10 for Hakurei's life.
I was like, no, but then I was like, yes! Because that last page, though.
Yes, Chihiro being like, what do you mean? I'm glad things went exactly as I planned.
Yeah. And
what a great wording, too. I'm glad they went exactly as I planned. Huh?
And then you see the water droplets coming off
N10.
It's like, oh, baby, what's he got planned?
Nothing has gone wrong.
So do you think now he's going to be able to track?
I think so. That
where
or
the
be able
sword is?
to activate it, because no one else can use it. And we know from Sojo that even when the blade's away, you have a connection to it and can use it.
So maybe that's why the dude with the strongest sword is sealed in those pillars.
Yeah, so he doesn't have an influence over Shinuichi.
Yeah.
I also...
Because in my opinion, what I think is going to go down is that he's going to be able to track where N10 is and find the real location. Because the storehouse has to be somewhere, like a physical place.
Unless it's like a pocket dimension, but
yeah.
You might still be right, yeah.
I mean, it could very well be a pocket dimension, then you're fucked. Because how do you get into a pocket dimension?
Or if it isn't a physical place, I would almost think it would be a closed bunker or a cave. Because you don't need anyone to be able to enter it.
Yeah, you don't want anyone entering it.
So I'd almost think of like an underground bunker that they seal the entrance to.
Because the only way in or out seems to be teleporting in with that black goo stuff.
Yeah, so if it is physical, I don't think they would even be able to... Well, then again, Mr. Shiba.
Mr. Shiba.
I will say, the fact Hakurei's even alive and with them back at home does tell me that the father plans to actually honor the deal, or at least has some sort of code of honor to him.
Right.
Because the moment they get home, he could have easily just teleported Hakurei back and be like, all right, hey, I have everything I wanted. Like, I don't get the sense that he's even, like, the worst guy. Because, I mean, he is still selling people.
He's just a
normal crime boss dad.
Kind of, but he's more of like the collector.
Yeah,
you know,
a mediator.
He's just a merchant in the black market. You know what I mean?
I enjoy that.
Obviously, has a gray moral code. That's probably a darker gray than a light gray.
That's how I like me villains. I'm much more of a... I'm trying to think of an example to him because I was going to compare it. I'm not a Frieza guy. I'm more of a Crollo guy. I think that was a good spectrum. I think I set up a good binary there.
Crow is still a very dark gray, but Frieza's just...
He is, though he does get a little bit more of a milky as you get those flashback chapters, which are somewhere in the boat.
Well, Frieza's just dark.
Yeah, and Frieza's where I'm like, you're just the worst dude.
The worst.
Just no reason, no context. You're just the worst.
Egotistical. Power-hungry maniac.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people I'd throw in those boxes. I put Pain in the Crollo box, though. Pain's another one on that binary that I'm like... Then again, he doesn't quite fit what I'm saying with KaguraBachi, because he doesn't have that, like... I don't know. I don't feel that, like...
Sincerity?
Yeah, kinda. The way he treated Hakari wasn't just like, I'm evil, big evil man.
Pain was just like...
It was more like...
Know my pain!
Yeah. It felt like a real mafioso, in a way.
Edgiest line.
It'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, boy.
Edgiest line ever. My pain is greater than yours. My emo backstory is more emo than yours.
You can't even match Sasuke. How would you match my pain?
Oh my god. Speaking of Sasuke, you want to hear the fucking cringe of the day?
Oh no.
So, I mean, the first part, I was like, I stopped on it because I was like, oh, I'll watch when Sukuna showed up again and chopped the top of Jogo's head off. So that's what it was. So it was
Yeah.
when Sukuna takes over Yuji and Shibuya, and the two girls are there, Jogo's there, but then Sasuke is standing behind them. So when he goes to do the cleave, you know, they still drop to the knees, but Sasuke doesn't, and he just Susanoo blocks it. But there's no subtitles, so I don't know what they're trying to make them say to each other, and they're talking a bunch, but then, like, it made it insinuated that Sasuke would be, like, the upper hand in that situation. It was, to point it in, it was the Sasuke where he still had both eyes, and one of them was the Rinnegan, and one was the Sharingan.
See, there's one... I had a lot of knee-jerk reactions. My brain was, like, doing the calculations, the anime powers calculations.
I would still think that Susanoo might block fucking cleave. Like, a basic cleave.
Basic cleave, yes. But then my mind went, would world-cutting cleave just swoosh right through that? And there's a precedent to let him do hand signs and chanting. Everyone's doing fucking hand signs in Naruto at some point, at least. Not at that point where he has a... but you know what I mean. But... perfect counter Sasuke has.
Genjutsu.
No, you specifically mentioned he has the Rinnegan. Swap places with Sukuna as he does world cutting slash.
Yeah.
Joe over. That doesn't require hand signs either. You just do it. So I'd have to give it to Sasuke still. I think Sukuna has the power to kill Sasuke, but I think Sasuke just has so much in his goddamn bag that it's not going to happen. Because to say that Sasuke wouldn't react to it is just cap. Is 100% cap.
If Maki can see cleaves and block him with the sword, Sasuke with a Rinnegan and a Sharingan, you know, the Sharingan that it
and she
lets
dodged
him
a world
see
cutting
things.
one too. After missing 2 of the chants. Like, she only caught the 3rd line and still dodged a world cutting one. He has to say all 3 with the hand sign in front of Sasuke, and he's gonna see the hand sign and be like, Jutsus!
Is it the world cutting cleave? The same cleave that cuts Gojo, though?
Yeah, that's the one, or at least that's when he said he finally learned it and then also whipped it out on Kashimo. That's the thing
See, because I'm not... If that's the case, I'm not cool with Maki just blocking that with the sword.
I don't think she blocked the world cutting one, though. I think she only dodged the world cutting ones. Because those are the ones where he actually has to say, like, the 3 lines like Gojo did when he did the impromptu purple.
Yeah.
And that's also why they were, like, trying... That's part of why, too, they wanted to keep him in, like, simple domain. In Yuta's domain.
Yeah.
Because then he can't do world cutting slash. And the moment he lets it up, he gets Jacob's ladder.
That did literally nothing.
A generic energy beam with no other traits. I'm so salty still.
So you have every reason.
My curse technique does this. No, it don't.
Another thing though is the Rinnegan, because everything in the Jujutsu world, even Sukuna says it with this fight against Maki, is Jujutsu, like sorcery.
Yeah.
It's their version of chakra. So it's using cursed energy to make the cleave. And if you equalize chakra and cursed energy, the Rinnegan absorbs that shit too. It has the ability to absorb.
If you equalize, but again, I don't think there's any universe Sukuna could hit Sasuke with the world-cutting cleave because of those lines, man. They're in a world specifically made to, like, do quick hand signs to do their techniques. You're telling me you're going to get a 3-line poem off and Sasuke's just going to let you hit him with the thing after? No. While doing a hand sign. No.
And like you said, too, if Maki can see it, then Sasuke with the Rinnegan and a Sharingan
will absolutely
see it. So the first time he sees it, maybe he dodges it. But now he knows about it, so he's like, okay, swap places.
Because I remember part of the Momoshiki fight, too. Sasuke gets, like, wrapped in, like, a chain, and he swaps with Momoshiki, who was holding the chain, and he's wrapped up now. So, like, he can do that to fucking anything. Like,
I don't know, it's just something I saw. I'm scrolling through. And, of course, all of the comments, because it was, I don't know, it kind of looked Japanese, but also at the same time, I know a few... Like, I know the style of Japanese kanji when I see it to be like, that's Japanese. But it looked more Chinese.
Yeah.
Like, because I went to the comments and that's just all it was. But it was only just people tagging people. And I was like...
No hot takes?
I was like, nobody's commenting at all in here.
I can't take your bad takes and put them on a pedestal.
Yeah. But, I don't know. That was just something I saw real quick. So, thought I'd inject it in there.
Sasuke washes.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
I was thinking about, like, 10 Shadows, though. Like, if he still had Maharaga is actually pretty good in the bag, but...
But at the same time,
does Sasuke
has so much things. What is Maharaga going to adapt to?
He does, but at the same time, half of that bag is fire, and half of that bag is lightning.
True. And then the other half is just combined in the two.
Yeah. So, but I think there is still a world he gets around it, so long as he doesn't just spam it like out the gate with stuff. Like if he figures out it adapts to the fireballs, he'll do the exact same thing Sukuna does: throw a billion fireballs and then finish it off with a Kirin.
The whatever the fuck that arrow that Sasuke has is the one that he uses fucking Amaterasu arrow with. That is
with the Tsukuyomi
way stronger than fucking Indra's arrow. Yeah. So if Indra's arrow takes out fucking...
But it's at least even, if not better. It is no chance being worse. Yeah.
So, it's just something I thought of.
Absolutely. No, I like the matchups. I don't know if I've written down any in recent time. Sometimes I write down some. In case I need them.
I saw someone do justice to it. I should have taken a screenshot. We've probably seen it before, too. It's like, oh, how long would it take this person to solo the fucking Demon Slayer verse? And it's just like, you'd see the list and how many, like, the times that it put for each character. You're like, you're about to, like, rage, and then the video pauses and some guy comes on the screen. He's like, don't worry, I got this. I'll fix it for you. Because the first one was Ichigo, and it said 70 years. The dude... started is like, all right, this is Cap. It's gonna take Ichigo all 5 seconds because that's how long it takes him to say get to Gatencho. The longest one on the list was Mob from Mob Psycho because it's like only because it would take them a little bit to get Mob mad enough to then want to do something about it.
Too peaceful.
Luffy was on there too, and he's like, it'd probably take Luffy a little while. Just because you gotta track them all down or whatever. He's like, but it's like you only need gear third. Naruto's on there too, and he's like, Naruto's gonna take a day. Only because he's gonna find out that you can't talk no jutsu, not fucking Muzan. Naruto might find a way though.
He might. He really might.
And then
it's not too late to turn back, Muzan.
Midoriya was on there. and specifically a demon mode version of Asta. Like he was like,
Devil Union Asta.
Yeah, he was like this. This isn't. He just washes.
Yeah,
just like everyone washes.
Yeah,
Demon Slayer is the lowest of the power scale.
People still love to like put it up on a pedestal sometimes.
It's the lowest of the power scales. Your effects are not real. There is no fire, there is no lightning, and there is no water. It's just swishy sword swings.
Granted, I love my sword swings, but I got nothing on Devil Union, Asta, Midoriya. Well, get him past the crawler first.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, okay, most of the people, like, everyone on the list would take at least 12 hours. At least, depending on what time of year, because they'd have to wait for the sun type deal, because they don't have the blades or whatever. Yeah. The only person that could, without the sun, beat them, in my opinion, is Ichigo. Because he is quite literally a god of death. Shinigami. He deals with souls. He attacks souls.
I would also just assume, how do we know? I feel like Getsuga Tencho is so big and so much energy that it would literally atomize you. Yeah, yes. I don't think there'd be a single cell of Muzan to regenerate from. I think the same is true of like one Bijudama. Like, it will completely atomize you.
Exactly. And I'm sure Asta has some moves that do the same thing. Or is Asta really just swishy
just
swords?
Really swishy swords.
Anti-magic. Reflection magic.
Well, that's the one thing that's sad too, because my Nietzsche was going to be like, maybe it would negate it, but he didn't really get it through magic.
It was more like alchemy.
Yeah, it was more like science when like you think of what alchemy is too. Yeah, so it wouldn't negate it, but I don't think Muzan could he would reach the sunrise for sure, and have the force to force him back out into the sun if he retreated.
Yeah, because it's not like Muzan is outrunning anyone on that list.
That's the thing. Asta's bad fucking fast.
That whole list is fast.
Yeah.
Literally, no one on that list is getting outran by anyone in Demon Slayer. None of them.
Zero.
So I was like, thank you, random guy on the internet.
One matchup I found on my notepad was Quan Chi versus Kafka. There's just a random one I thought of. I don't know why I put them together.
From Kaiju number 8?
Yep. CSM versus Kaiju. Quan Chi versus Kafka.
I think Kafka just takes that, dude.
I don't know, Vic. I would once again go to speed.
Alright, so here's the thing, though. Kafka only fights Kaiju, so we don't know how, like, durable he is to, like, swords and shit.
Yeah.
Because he's never been in a situation where he's had to defend against those.
There was that one time he, like, ran into Hibino. But he wasn't trying to fight him.
Yeah. But, like, we've seen, like, the just sheer physical strength that he has in his Kaiju mode. And we just watched Quan Chi, like, jump off a building and break her ankles, and then, like...
Well, it wasn't even off a building. She jumped from the ground and, like, leaped a block.
Yeah.
And broke her legs.
So, it's like, yes, which is a lot. But it's like, a punch from Kafka's going to do more damage than jumping over a building.
That's why I wonder if he'll even land the punch.
I don't think Quan Chi's that fast, though.
She really is, though. She dashed across the fucking intersection full of zombies, up 3 flights of stairs in front of everyone, and perception blitzed along the way, killing everyone except Denji and crew, where she landed. And like, broke the blades doing it.
But then she also gets in skirmishes where she's not moving that fast while she's fighting the people. So it's like that's just, I think that's more.
It's also part of having a running start too, because she did literally like get into like a running position before.
But I think that's more of just like.
But then again,
a mangaka's inconsistencies with fights, which happens in all manga, not just these two.
The very next thing she did after stopping that running was kick Denji up into the air so fast that everyone was looking forward except for Yoshida, who saw it happen. every single other person was still looking forward where she was standing as she was mid-air kicking Denji. Like, she was very depicted to be that fast. The way she blitzed the sword guy, too. She's already on the other side of him while he's chopped into bits, punching his head off.
So it really comes down to how durable is
that's the one
Kafka,
I need to see.
because, like, okay, so yeah, she's got the speed, but she doesn't
have anything
power.
Or like, special weapons. Well, she does have a power. She is...
No, what I mean is, like, strength power.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen her punch a building and the whole building shatter. So it's like, okay, she punches Denji, but Denji's just as terrible as, like, me and you. He just regenerates like mad. And is
so does Quan Chi.
Yeah, and is just a crazy psycho with chainsaws coming out of his face. That's the problem with him. But, so it's like, okay, so she blitzes and Kafka, and say she goes to punch him, and her arm just shatters into a million pieces.
It's absolutely could happen. And I don't think her regular swords would pierce him either. I would need to see another fight with her in crossbow mode.
Yeah,
she didn't have like the best showing the one time she was in that mode.
So it all comes down to how defensive is Kafka just standing there.
Because we never really see Kafka get his ass like beat. Honestly,
yeah.
There's the one time he like was breaking off and he's bleeding, but we don't see like. No one punches a hole in Kafka.
Yeah. And again, too, every time he gets punched, he goes flying through buildings and then just, like, comes right back.
Yeah, he's just, so if he's Quan Chi'd be like a ragdoll.
And as we know, there's only so much you can regenerate from without...
True, if he gets you alone and you're not hurting him back, you are going to run out of juice to keep yourself going.
So I think it's in battle of attrition that Kafka wins.
Yeah.
If Kafka doesn't have the stamina, the defensive capabilities, then she blitzes him. That's my stance.
Agreed.
Cool.
Speed versus power. I had a few here. I had a drinking contest between Kishibe and the Kishibe guy from Gokuraku guy. Kishibe and Kishibe.
I think they just become great friends.
Race between Okarun and Ingenium. Dandadan versus My Hero.
Oh, fucking class president?
Yes, Ida.
Yes.
I don't know why I put Ingenium. I definitely didn't remember his name when I wrote that note.
Ida takes it.
I think so too, yeah.
Well,
we both thought the same thing at the same time.
The telephone wires.
Absolutely thought the same thing.
I don't know.
And they both live in cities. Like, they're...
Yeah, because it's like, we don't know how long Okarun can stay in there. Like, because he just stayed in there long enough to reach his destination, and then came out and was like, yo, let's fight. But Ida's, like, super fast with his ratio
overcharge.
Yeah, but, like, his super fast one. But it's like, in that one fight he had when he used it, he even said, like, once he uses this and it wears out relatively quickly, his engines and his legs stall. And he's I think
I'd give it to Okarun because he didn't seem to have any side effect from using it. He whipped out the telephone wire in a fight too, just to like
spiral energy. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Okarun.
Yeah, see, that's a good turnaround there.
If they're racing in the city, Okarun. If they're racing in the countryside, then I think the Rescue Burst will give him enough burst speed to go far enough to wherever the distance race is to just like, like acceleration versus max speed type deal. So like the acceleration would excel him to this destination before he'd
get so far ahead it would become the Achilles and the tortoise thing.
Yes. Until his engine burst and then it's
the dead guy and the winner.
Or the rabbit and the hare type deal. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, now you're napping and the tortoise is gonna go win. Tortoise and the hare, rather.
Yeah, I got you. And I had one more in my note. Can't wait to delete this now. JJK versus Hell's Paradise. Nobara versus Yuzuriha.
Nobara.
Yeah? I actually went Yuzuriha in my head.
Wait, the ninja?
Yeah, the ninja girl.
I thought you meant the fucking the samurai, the chick. that does.
Oh, you know what
like,
though? I would absolutely be
nothing.
on your side if that was true.
She does like nothing the whole
It
series.
sucks too because I love her and
Yeah.
like I feel like the anime did make her moments pop more.
Yeah, agreed. Ninja Girl.
Ninja Girl, I think she closed that gap so fast.
And I think that her slime sweat stuff would also help with the hairpin nail things. Not hairpin.
Like to try to catch him with it.
Yeah, but like, because a lot of the things she drives those nails into people, and that's how her. But if she uses the slime, she's showing like shit sliding off her, so the nails might not stick into her.
Though, the other part of her thing is to like pin a part of you with the nail onto a voodoo doll to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And the slime is her actually secretions. So could she just use that to like toss a voodoo doll on that and just be like, "You're dead"?
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
But I still think she takes it. I think if she even got close enough to have to get like the voodoo doll with the nail and the goo, Yuzuriha's just gonna beat her ass.
Yeah.
She's got way more hand to hand than Nobara does. Nobara's only hope is keeping her away.
When you first said that, I thought it was just going to be like JJK versus Hell Paradise and just like total. And I was like, Hell Paradise gets fucking demolished.
I don't know. Do you think? What about the Tenzen, the bad guys?
All right. Well, Gabimaru beat one of them to old age because he was killing them faster than they could regenerate. And like every high-end grade 1 sorcerer is just going to do that to the Tenzen. And every special grade is just going to, I think every special, like Yuta, Gojo, Hakuri, Sukuna, like the top tiers, what do the Tenzen really got against them?
I think they do, but I was trying to like get a good comparison for Gabimaru's power.
With JJK?
He's a pretty much a normal dude at the start that could literally like rip your jaw off.
No.
Like the way he was killing those Tenzen weren't just like I stabbed you in the heart. He was like,
I'd say Gabimaru is somewhere around grade 1.
I definitely put him above Yuji.
Yeah.
Like when you see Yuji throwing hands at his absolute best, it is way slower than the way Gabimaru fights.
Definitely. But I always harken back to this one thing. When Sukuna first took Megumin's body, Yuji's hands were quite destructive, jumping and toppling buildings. And I'm like, where's that been? Because it's only been that chapter so far. And it's like, I need that Yuji back. The one that
locked in Yuji.
The one that walked through the cleave. Granted, Megumin was holding it back, but that whole panel, I was just like, it's still good.
Him leaping off the building and being...
And the whole building crushing behind the force. So...
But that's why I'm like, where's Gabimaru at? Because I'd almost want to try to argue that Gabimaru's there from the start.
Yes. And he just gets stronger when he gets Tau. Or it's Tau, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And, it's a good question. Because, like, I need to see what Kusakabe's really got. If they're saying Kusakabe is the strongest grade 1, I need to see what he actually has.
This is going to really complete the ruler. Like the measuring stick of JJK.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of other grade 1s that, like... So he's going to be stronger than all of these guys, huh?
Stronger than Hakuri?
I thought Hakuri was... Hakuri's not... No, he's not. It's not a special grade.
I don't think we've gotten a real grade for him, though, too, because he dropped out of school.
He's Hakuri.
Yeah. I don't even know if...
He's situational, though.
He is. That's why I'd even hesitate to say special grade. I think I said it last week, where the... Kenjaku's measuring stick was, can you beat an army? And I'm not sure if Hakuri could really beat an army.
That's a good question, because literally my next question was, would you think that Higuruma would be special grade? Because he can't beat an army, I don't think.
I don't think he could either.
But in a one-on-one, he's beaten,
godly.
He's beaten everyone but Sukuna with Gege on dick riding him.
Yes. Literally, if that was anyone else, they would have lost.
Yes.
Because they would have lost their fucking curse technique.
Yes. And then what do you do?
I always want to see the extra content of Sukuna behind the scenes sucking Judge Man's dick to get that special treatment.
Somebody draw it. Anybody.
Yeah, when you think of all of the other 4 special grades, they absolutely could take an army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the more Yuta goes, the more he can take an army, because he collects more and more curse techniques. Like with sky manipulation now, guns are nothing to him. He just moves the sky, gun bullets would take that trajectory.
Yeah.
Over.
But then also he just has, like, cursed speech.
Oh yeah, literally die!
That's what he did against an army of cursed spirits versus Geto in the movie.
Yeah. And then obviously Gojo and Yuki, Black Hole Girl.
Yeah.
She could end the world if she really wanted to.
Gojo, all purple, even just reds. Sukuna, Cleave
And
up the wazoo.
all of them are pretty much immune to guns at that point too.
Yeah, basically.
And I don't think Hakuri's there.
How far up the ladder do you think JJK goes in Hunter x Hunter?
That's such a good question, because I feel like that is the closest connection power system wise that, like, if I were to point to one person that the cursed energy system took most inspiration from, I'd probably go Hunter x Hunter. I think it's more of a question of how far does Hunter x Hunter get to it.
Yeah, because it's like...
There's some outliers, though, because when I think of, like, Netero and even Kahlua, I saw, I think it was... I want to say it was Broken Ronin.
You know what the problem with Kahlua is? He's Kashimo.
No,
Or
that was
Kashimo
actually just
is
about to
Kahlua.
say it. I just watched a video, I think it was from Broken Ronin, that actually did that pairing. Kahlua versus Kashimo.
I think Kahlua is just bitter.
Kahlua was pretty distinctly Kahlua's.
Because Kahlua can use Godspeed, 3 times a day?
And Godspeed's just better, because it just makes him react on impulse.
Yeah. And Kashimo can use his ability once ever, period.
Yes.
And then it kills him.
And the fact that Kahlua would be completely resistant to... They're resistant to each other's base lightning attacks. But one difference is Kashimo's would actually charge Kahlua.
Yeah. But then, like, you look at, like, the higher-end people. Like, I don't know anything about Jing or Beyond Netero or anyone on the boat, really. But I can speak of, like, Meruem and fucking Netero. Fucking the Royal Guard is just menaces. Meruem's Royal
You
Guard.
kind of speak for Crollo, or at least versions of Crollo in certain abilities he has.
Yeah. The Zodiac. Zoldyck, rather. The
Yes,
Zoldyck.
I was like, Zodiac.
Well, the Zodiacs.
Still
some
have
of
12
them-
on the mind.
None of the Zodiacs, other than Pariston and Jing, because the rest of them are immeasurably letdowns.
One of the biggest problems is still world cutting slash, because I'm like, man, Netero could probably beat the bricks off Sukuna. Then I'm like, one world cutting slash, and that'll go like really right through someone like hot butter.
That's the thing, though, is Netero movement just as fast as his praying.
That's a fair point too, because if it is, that's
Because we've seen his prey is like he has to do
And-
specific things and then move his hands, and he does that all in like
well, you can
faster
like,
than a blink of an eye.
even
So
if it's
like,
not his base like speed, you can make a really good argument that it's his reaction time, because he does that in reaction to like being attacked. Like as Meruem's coming to him, he has to do that to do the next attack to bat Meruem away. So he at least
and
has
it's-
that in a reaction
It's called
time.
the 99 hand Buddha Vatsva or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's 99 different combos you can choose. So he's actively choosing which one to use in response
While
to
doing
Meruem.
that, yeah.
And Meruem is not a pushover.
Literally the fastest in the verse.
Yeah.
So far.
Like confirmed from
Easily though, because he is the power cap we've seen.
yeah.
Hands down. His only bag is being strong and fast, and he's the strongest, so therefore he's both of those things in spades above people.
And never had a Nen ability.
Nope.
Imagine if he did.
Never even really had to train. Like,
He was probably just an enhancer.
yeah,
I wouldn't call Meruem a specialist, do you think?
maybe. Because I think back to Hisoka's mapping of what you'd be, where his theory is that your Nen power is like linked to your personality. So I don't know if Meruem's mind is simple enough to fit into Enhancer under Hisoka's version of this. It's not
True, 'cause-
empirically true, but it seems to be. It's that weird thing is like, do we take Hisoka as speaking for the author, or is this just in Hisoka's head? But it seems to match up pretty well. Or at the very least, it matches up perfectly for enhancers, and everyone else it might be splitting hairs a bit more. But the enhancers are always the really simple-minded, strong dude, strong. I got one thing on my mind.
I think it's a thing because both Hunter x Hunter and JJK suffer from, I think, the same thing. That a very small minority of the cast are exponentially and vastly more powerful than the entire rest of the cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
even outside of Meruem, I think Crollo and Netero are leagues above everyone else.
Yeah, I just think that this jump between grade 1 and special grade is just massive. Like, if Kusakabe truly is the peak of grade 1, like, was he, like, yeah, he blocked Uzumaki, but are you blocking a black hole? Are you blocking purple?
We'll also think about all the other grade 1s, too. We got Nanami, Mei.
Well, even Nanami, too. It's like, Nanami was actually on a lot of the weak, like, we love him. He's a great character, but he was also on the weaker side of
He was also, like, that example of what a grade 1 should be, at least, like almost like a baseline middle of, like, this is what a grade 1 should aspire to be. Like, Nobara says it, Megumi thinks it, Yuji's lives it, feeling that way. So,
I think that Nanami just got the short end of the stick of just fighting people that he never had a chance to beat with his moveset.
But that's what I also mean, like, if he's supposed to be, like, that perfect example of what a grade 1 is, and I'd put Mei pretty close. The only difference is all of her attack power is ranged, so that puts her, like, above Nanami in that sense. So if we take, like, that Nanami, Mei level, and I guess we can lump Ino in there, too. That's not very high.
No.
The gap between your Meimeis and your Nanamis and Yuta, who I guess we'll call the lowest of the special grades, I guess. That's a huge gap. And the same is true of Hunter x Hunter. When you go from Gon, just Gon, not I sacrificed my life to become powerful for a moment, Gon. Just Gon.
I hate that trope, by the way. Everyone loves I liked the Gon rage moment when I first watched it. It's kind of cool, but the more I think about it, the more I hate it.
I like it. I like the idea that he sacrificed all he could be for power in that moment. I think my only tension with it comes is when everyone wants to bring it up when they bring up Gon in a video. Gon is not going to sacrifice his entire life to fight your random matchup, bro. Like, that's where it annoys me. I think it was great for the story, and that's what it should have been.
And you know, it's another great example of how easy it is to beat Gon in a certain sense. Bomb Guy. When he fought the bomb dude on Green Island. Because it's like, his Jonkin rock is like the most telegraphed move in his... And look how many times...
Well, Uvogin's the same way. Like, Uvogin's another perfect example of when you take that up in power, any kind of hacks still win. Yeah. Crollo could have killed Uvogin if they hated each other. Easily. Enhancers suck. Enhancers always suck. And across the entire anime spectrum, I hate enhancers.
Just trying to think of some, but I'll think of one, like, while I'm about to go to sleep. I'll be like, that one!
He's an enhancer for sure.
But no, just like as in one that would counterpoint you of what you're saying, but at the moment. You know, it's a great enhancer ability that is underutilized, which you were saying for years and why it didn't happen and then finally happened. Kaioken.
Yes.
I'll take Kaioken any day.
That is a good enhancer. But it's still just enhancer. I still hate it. Like, if you give me a big box of all the anime powers, I'm never going to pull out an enhancer power.
True. It's tough. Because it's like, it's boring. Almost.
It is.
You know what I
mean? No, not even almost. It is boring.
Give me something tactical.
And, like, even, like, the ways Gon gets around it, they're explicitly weaker because of the power system. Like, paper and scissors have to suck because the power system make them suck.
Did we ever even see scissors? I remember seeing paper once.
He definitely used scissors once. I can't tell you when.
He just always uses rock.
Yeah. Which should be fair, because again, the power system makes them weaker.
Yeah.
What a good Nen user should do is have their ability tie it in like a nice ribbon. Instead of being like, I have a this attack in my main attack. It should be my power has elements of, I don't know what going subs things are. Well, one's emitter, because paper's emitter. And then the other one's like, what would scissors be?
I don't know what scissors does.
It's like a blade.
Oh,
I would just put that in emitter too. I don't even know what it could be. Transmuter, maybe?
Maybe.
Either way, instead of having like a 3-mode attack, it should be an ability that utilizes parts of all 3.
No, just
like when you think of Netero. Netero's an enhancer, but he uses emitting to project the Bodhisattva. In a sense, like something like that. Like he's using parts of everything in his bag to make the one ability.
Which is extremely overpowered one ability. But then you also have all these other people that are supposedly stronger than him. Beyond Netero, whatever else is on the Dark Continent.
And we'll never get there. I still can't get over Beyond Netero.
It's
such a stupid name. I hate it so much.
He definitely named himself that.
Or his dad, because his dad's a kook. Netero is kooky. You're gonna be better than me, because I named you better than me. You're beyond me. I mean, how creative is the man that spent his entire life praying on the mountaintops?
Throwing 10,000 fists a day.
Yeah. It's like, I'm the best and I want you to be better, so beyond me. Ooga booga.
Right. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
We'll find out never on Hunter Ball Z.
Yeah. Why, Togashi? Because he's old and it's his 3rd manga? 2nd manga?
2nd? I don't know if he did anything before Yu Yu Hakusho, actually. I don't.
He should have just ended the story with Gon and Killua. And maybe did a little
They
bit.
wash up on the Dark Continent, it's Tokyo, and they meet Yusuke.
Let's not.
These are the primal monsters they were talking about. It was demons all.
Terrible.
This has truly been our Yu Yu Hakusho.
No.
Yeah.
But
we'll have to save Dandadan for next time.
Yeah, double up. My boy fucking Zuma needs to back the fuck up.
Literally, I think it was while we were taking a quick break, I actually saw someone post that. I was like, the community is all in the same place mentally.
And I was sitting there reading it too. Talk more about it next week in depth. But I was like, damn, Yukinobu Tatsu, you need to chill. 2 massively detailed double-page spreads back to back
actually,
in a
there's
page.
One thing I did want to say about the chapter, so I am going to take an extra couple minutes here, is that I think Zuma's supposed to like represent what Momo's ideal guy was at the beginning of the series. He has the punk look, but he's not actually like a punk. Like he's actually sensitive.
I think you said this similar to it.
It hits me more and more because I was thinking about it like. I think before I went to bed today, I was just like, if Gigi's supposed to be like, if we're thinking of the story as a romance, the conflicts come from things that threaten the romance. Gigi was like the childhood friend part. We beat that. We got over that hurdle. So the next hurdle is getting over her type.
I saw an article today about the anime, and romance is part of like the first 2 words of the genre.
Perfect. Because it is. It really is. But so instead of thinking of the conflicts of like the bad guys, I was thinking of the conflicts of what gets in the way of the romance. It was childhood friend, we beat that. Now it's her type.
Right.
So I remember when we were first going to the high school, someone posted on Twitter too, being like, are we going to see her ex, the guy she broke up with at the beginning of the series? And I mean, thank God we didn't. She wouldn't, not because I think she threatens it, just because I think he was boring as hell looking.
We've seen the person?
Yeah, it was like a quick flash of his face.
Oh.
Like, I dumped the guy.
Oh, well, fuck him.
But that's why I think Zoom is supposed to be like the prime version of that.
Yeah, maybe.
Who will also lose.
Yes. Because Okuran is the true man.
But I won't lie, I thought it because I thought they looked cute together in that first double-page spread where she's walking backwards and he's just kind of walking forwards.
Especially with all the hearts in the rain.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, if this is what she would have imagined she wanted.
Yeah, most likely. And I'm just sitting here.
And she doesn't, though.
Stop cheating on my boy.
It shows that she doesn't want it in the present.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, see all the little raindrops are like little clouds.
Yeah, so they had little like Ghibli-esque spirits.
Oh, no, they are little ghosties. I thought they were little hearts. Now
I noticed
zoom in on them, they got little faces. They're little ghosties.
Yeah, I saw it right here when they're bubbling up on this side of the brick wall. I'm like, that is so Ghibli.
Yeah, it is.
I had insane Ghibli-coded vibes.
But
yes.
We'll talk about it next week. On Dukes of Weep
and Kaiju B-side.
Did they have one this week? I didn't even notice.
I'm gonna give you one tiny spoiler.
Who's it about?
Yeah, it's not Hoshina anymore.
Well, it was Shinomiya.
Yes.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I meant we're gonna have to talk about it next week.
Oh,
because we didn't talk about it now.
Well, no, it's been a while since it came out, right?
I don't know. We didn't talk about it.
I was gonna say, cause oh, it's not in my fucking favorites. I'd have to look it up.
It's in my continue reading.
Oh, it's not in mine.
March 7th.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago.
We just didn't talk about it though last time.
But either way, we'll hit it up. Dukes of Weep.